Hello and welcome to another video review, this time about the new hunting rifle scope from Leica, the Fortis 6 1.8 to 12 by 42. Leica is a German company with headquarters in Wetzlar, and Leica is very famous from the production of cameras. The company was established in 1869, so it is a very old company. And in early 1900s they started the production of binoculars, so let's say they entered the market of sports optics. A few years later they introduced the first portable camera, which they patented the 35mm film format. Now the last 15 to 20 years approximately, the company dominates the market with laser range finding monoculars and binoculars, and since approximately 2010 they also produce riflescopes for the European market. The Fortis 6 series of riflescopes, which is this scope I have here, is the latest series from Leica, and it was introduced at 2019 at IVA. And up to now, in this series, only 3 riflescopes were in the series: the 1 to 6 by 24, then 2 to 12 by 50, and 2.5 to 15 by 56. All of them had a 6 times zoom factor magnification, but this year at IVA, so 2023, Leica introduced the newest model, the Fortis 6 1.8 to 12 by 42, which has the zoom factor of 6.7 times. So they stepped up with the zoom factor, and the magnification is the same as on the most expensive series of riflescopes from Leica, the Magnus. It has the same magnification, but it has a 50mm objective lens. So I find this really interesting that they increased the zoom factor, but they still managed to do this with the same price like other 46 riflescopes. Now, because of the magnification and objective, the scope is perfect for stalking and mountain hunting. Also because it's quite light, it has 700 grams if you choose capped turrets and without the rail. And with a BDC turret and with the mounting rail, the weight comes up to 760 grams approximately. Because of the low magnification, I think it is also suitable for driven hunting, but still lower magnification is better in my opinion. From the construction, it is completely made out of metal with only rubberized part here on the ocular. And immediately when you have it in your hands, you can see the Leica design. So it is really well made, and yeah, the finish of the scope is really good. The inner of the riflescope is nitrogen purged, so you have no internal fogging when you use it in very cold environment, and it is also waterproof up to 4 meters of depth. So even if you submerge the scope, nothing can happen. The size of the scope is 325 up to 340 millimeters, depending on the eyepiece adjustment, and it can be ordered with a size ZMVM mounting rail, but you can also order it without mounting rail, and then you need 30 millimeters rings for the mounting. As I said, it has a very modern Leica design. The eyepiece is a European style eyepiece, so only this small part here is made for the adjustment. It feels very smooth, and it is quite stiff, so when you make your adjustment you don't have to worry that the adjustment somehow changes when you take it out of the back or similar. As I said, it is, other than that, it's completely made out of metal, and the finish is on the magnification ring is very nice. It is very grippy, I would say, and ripped, so you have perfect grip also with gloves. The magnification ring has also this small throw lever here for even better grip when you want to change the magnification. Main tube, as I said, is 30 millimeters, and the objective lens is 42 millimeters. The outer diameter of the objective is 50 millimeters, and because of that it is also perfectly suitable for mounting a clip-on night vision or thermal attachment. And I also think this is one of the reasons why Leica came out with this scope, because it is now very popular in Europe to mount a clip-on device, and because of that you don't need a big objective lens, so 42 is more than enough for clip-on devices. And with the 42 you can even use it in lower light conditions, of course not like with the 50 millimeters or 56, but it is still quite suitable. Okay, now the price of this Leica is depends on the what you choose, or the caps, turrets, or with the rail. It starts with 1,895 euros, and it goes all the way up to 2,200 euros if you choose BDC turrets and the rail. The warranty of this scope is 10 years, which is perfectly, I would say, or the standard, let's say, for rifle scopes in the European market. And as I said, the scope is, from the magnification, completely the same as the Magnus rifle scope, which is the most expensive rifle scope from Leica. And I have one here, and just to see the difference, the scopes are completely the same in size, so the length of the scope is completely the same. The main difference is that Magnus, it is quite more expensive, and it is also a little bit better optically, in my opinion. The most noticeable is on the edge, of course, and the Magnus has, in my opinion, a lot better illumination, because you have many options for the low light and for the daytime illumination. On the Fortis there are only 9 intensity settings. The Magnus has a 50 millimeters objective lens, so it is more suitable for lower light conditions. But they come with the same BDC turrets, and the Magnus does not feature a Parralax adjustment, which I think, even though it is a smaller magnification, Parralax is still a really nice feature if you want to look at close range with bigger magnification. You can make better image quality with the Parralax. Also the field of view is the same, which is really interesting in my opinion. The turrets are different in the Magnus, and also the turret caps have a rubber cover, and on the Fortis they are completely made out of steel. And also on the Magnification ring, you can see it is also rubberized on the Magnus and not on the Fortis. But other than that, these are the main differences. Now, for the Fortis, the reticle comes only in the second focal plane, and only one reticle type is available, which is the L4A, which is a standard German 4 reticle with a very small dot in the middle. The center dot can be also illuminated, and as I said, you have 9 intensity settings which can be changed on this turret here. The illumination is very bright, but I think it cannot be compared to the Magnus. Magnus has still a lot stronger illumination, and I also think this is the weak part of this Leica, because it has only 9 intensity settings. The Magnus has, I think, over 300 settings, and the Fortis 6 riflescopes were also designed to compete against the Swarovski Z6E riflescopes and also the Zeiss Conquest V6. And I do think also the Z6 has a better illumination, which has I think 64 intensity settings. But other than that, the illumination can be very well used in low light conditions on the lowest settings. And as I said, on the 9 it's still very bright, but in my opinion it could be brighter, because on a white target it's not very well visible. Now the battery compartment of this Leica is here on this turret, and for the illumination you need only one CR2032 battery. The illumination features also an automatic turn off feature. So when you make your adjustment, after 3 minutes the scope turns automatically off, and when it senses any movement, it turns automatically back on, so you are immediately ready to engage your target. The scope also features a tilt sensor for the sides, and also for up and also for down. When you put the scope, let's say in your somewhere near, so it stands up, it also immediately shuts off the illumination to save the battery life. Okay, now for the turrets. The Parralax Adjustment is on the same turret like the illumination, and it goes down to 50 meters and all the way up to infinity. And what is really nice, at 100 meters, I don't know if you can hear, there is a very light click sound, and you can also feel it, so also in complete darkness you can immediately say where is the 100-meter parallax adjustment, which I find really nice. The surface of the parallax is also really nice. It is also ribbed, so you have perfect grip on the turrets. Okay, now for the turrets. The turret you see here is the BDC turret, and as I said, it is the same BDC turret like on the Magnus, and the clicks on this turret are in 1 centimeter per 100 meters, or 0.1 milliradian per click, and it is a single turn turret with approximately 95 clicks in one revolution. The 95 clicks is 9.5 meters at 100 meters. 95 centimeters at 100 meters. So this is more than enough for very long shots, and I do think most of the hunters will never use such a high elevation. The clicks on the turret are, in my opinion, perfect. They are very tactile. They are very audible, and you need, in my opinion, the right amount of force to make the adjustments. Maybe you can hear better if I can show you like this. So the clicks are really, really nice. I personally also think that this turret is one of the best, if not the best, BDC turret currently on the market, because it has a low profile. It is completely made out of aluminum, and as I said, the clicks are perfect. Then also the turret features a locking function. So you see here underneath the turret is the feature for the locking. You just have to turn the lower part, and then the turret is completely fixed. You can do this also at any given elevation, so you can always lock in your position, which I really think is really nice. And again, the surface is very grippy and easily to use also with gloves. Now for the zeroing. Zeroing of the scope is very, very easy. When you're on the range, you just make your adjustment so you're perfectly in the center, and then you just have to loosen these two screws, and then the turret rotates freely without any clicks. Then you just go back to the zero, tighten the two screws back in, and you are ready to go. Okay, now for the Windage turret, it is capped like on all models, so you cannot order a different turret for the Windage, and the cap is made of aluminum, so really well made. And underneath is this small hunting, let's say, turret with 0.5 centimeter clicks, which is quite unique, and because of that you can very precisely shot in the rifle scope at 100 meters or your desired distance. In one rotation there are 50 clicks or 25 centimeters when you come back to the entire revolution. On the turret there are no lines, no numbers other than 0, so you have to count your clicks, and the turret is not resettable, so you have to put it in the position like you want and just put the cap back on. The entire elevation and windage adjustment, the internal elevation and windage adjustment, is 230 clicks in elevation and in windage, so 2.3 meters, which is really a lot. The elevation turret does not feature a turn indicator because it's not needed. It is only in one revolution, and the zero stop works also perfectly. So when you zero in, when you come back to zero, it stops exactly at the zero. So like I said, a perfect BDC turret. Okay, now for the optical performance, I would say, as you know it from Leica and also from our older videos, the optical quality of this 46 is great. It is really good, and from what I've seen, the only difference to the Magnus is on the edge. I do think the Magnus is still a little bit better on the edge, but in the center the difference is almost not possible to see. What is a big plus in my opinion is the parallax, because if your target is, let's say, at 50 meters, you can use 12 times magnification and you'll still see a perfect fine image. Or also at 300 or 400 meters the image will be completely crisp and sharp. Okay, now the magnification 1.8 to 12, and from the smallest to the biggest magnification you need approximately 190 degree of turn, so a little bit more than half of the turn. The magnification ring feels also very smooth, and yeah, it is a little bit stiff, perfectly in my opinion. The zoom factor of the magnification is 6.7 times, which as I said is very special for the 46, because other riflescopes have a 6 times zoom factor. And now the field of view at 1.8 times magnification is 22.5 meters at 100 meters, which is really a lot. It is the same like on the Magnus. And at 12 times magnification it's 3.7 meters at 100 meters. The scope has no tunneling effect, and the light transmission through the scope is 92%. The eye box is 90 millimeters, so you can use it also on the strongest recoiling calibers without any issue, and you are completely safe behind the scope. And the eye box, it is very forgiving at 1.8 and also very quite forgiving at 12 times magnification. Of course, when you go up with the magnification, it is less forgiving, but still perfectly fine to use it very easily. Okay, now what do you get in the box? First of all, cleaning cloth for the scope, then a hex wrench for zeroing, a bikini style cover to protect your lenses, then you also get a warranty card, a Leica sticker, and a certificate about the scope, when it was made, and who looked through the scope and checked that everything is okay. Then you also get a CR2032 battery, and also some notes with the QR code for the instructions about the scope. Okay, now for the quick summary. First of all, the positives. As I previously said, the optical properties are really nice in this scope. Then the overall build quality and finish is, as you know it from Leica, it is just perfect. And then the BDC turret, it is also perfect. As I said, one of the best on the market. The field of view of the scope is really good, and the illumination, even though it has 9 intensity settings, it is still very good in my opinion. Now, where do I see room for improvements? First of all, in the illumination, even though it is quite good with only 9 settings, I would still like to see more setting like you have on the Magnus for comparison, and a little bit brighter dot would be really nice. Because of the low magnification, you can use it also for driven hunting or very close range, and then a bright dot is really perfect. And other than that, maybe more reticles available, because only one is available in this scope. But other than that, I really don't have anything to say. It is a really nice scope. I do think you get a lot for the price, and yeah, overall it is really well made. Now, what is the main competition of this scope? In the similar price range, I do think only two scopes now. First of all, the Kahles Helia 1.6 to 8 by 42, which is for approximately 150 euros cheaper, and it is also available with a Swarovski SR rail. It has a bit bigger field of view because of the lower magnification, but it has a smaller maximal magnification and also a smaller zoom factor, so it has only a 5 times zoom factor magnification. And lastly, the Kahles is not possible to get with the BDC turret. And the second competition of this rifle scope I think is the Swarovski Z6E, the 1.7 to 10 by 42. The Swarovski is significantly more expensive, for approximately 400 euros. It has less zoom, only 5.9 times, and the BDC is made of plastic, which I do not like on such a premium rifle scope like the Swarovski, because you can more easily damage it, and yeah, it has not such a high quality feel in my opinion. And lastly, the Swarovski also does not feature a parallax adjustment. But what is better in my opinion from the Swarovski is that the BDC can be adjusted for the bullet drop. You have the small dots which you can adjust perfectly to your bullet drop for each dimension or distance you want. The illumination is much better in my opinion. It has 64 settings, and it is also quite a lot lighter in weight, for approximately 200 grams, so this is quite a lot. It has also a bit bigger field of view, and the overall build is shorter, so also there a small it is better in this if you look at also with the dimension. Okay, this was a short video review of the new Leica Fortis 6 1.8 to 12 by 42. I hope I covered everything about the scope. If you have any additional questions, click the link below, and if you enjoyed, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.